I'm Denise, founder of Chronic Connection, and I want to welcome you to this week's Ask A Spoonie. A couple of weeks ago on Instagram, I made a post, an original post, about how we choose to live with our chronic illness. It goes, living with chronic illness may be out of our control, but how we choose to live with that illness is in our control. I also went on to comment that we all have days where we feel like giving up or feel angry about some of the cards we've been dealt. Many things can't be controlled in life, but one thing that is within our control is how we choose to deal with whatever comes our way. Just because we live with chronic illness, it doesn't mean we can't have an awesome, successful life. We may have to shift our dreams a bit and even redefine success, but we can do it. Now, I got a great question about this, and I wanted to share that with you as well as a few thoughts on that today. The question is, can you please give me an example of shifting our dreams and redefining success? I have a hard time trying to figure out how to do that. Thanks in advance. I thought this was a really great question. It's very legit. Because how do you do it? Is it simple? No, it's not simple. Will it take time? Probably, yeah. For most of us, it takes time to make a shift when something different happens in our lives that we weren't expecting. We're thrown that curveball, regardless of what it is, even if it's not chronic illness, it could be any other thing too. And then you have to figure out, now where do I go? Just to begin, I would suggest starting with something small, meaning your goals for your current day or your expectations for that day. What is it, think about in your mind before you approach your day, what is it I need to get done, what must get done, what should get done, what are my goals, what are things I want to accomplish today. They're going to be very, very different for different people. Are there things you feel that you should do, or that others feel you should do? Things that maybe you're owning that maybe you shouldn't be owning and other people can do and take care of things for themselves a little bit, or maybe things that you can even give to other people to do, or ask for help doing. So what are your goals for that day? And a lot of times it's about acceptance of what we can't change, but making the best of what we can. So for example, you can't change your diagnosis, or your illness or the symptoms that you have, or any of that. You can't change as a young person. You can't really change your living circumstances that much. If your parents are divorced, together, whatever, maybe one parent travels a lot, maybe both parents have to work all the time, and whatever your situation is, where you live, all of that is really not in your control at this point in your life. But how you choose to deal with it, how you choose to look at things, is what's in your control. There may be other things that you can control as well. And so you want to focus on what is within your control. What are the things that you can do versus what you can't? And that's a step in the right direction right there. You want to set small, achievable, realistic goals that will make you feel good. So what might your goal be today? Well, your goal might simply be get up and go to school and get through your school day. And for someone with a chronic illness, that's not always easy to do, is it? For many reasons. But that might be that, and that might even be too big of a goal, and that's okay. Maybe your goal is simply to get up today and get dressed. Your goal might be to get some physical activity in. And that physical activity for one person might be walking around the block, or walking on a treadmill, or lifting weights even, or yoga, or what have you. For another person, that physical activity might simply be stretching and working on, building a little bit of strength in one area of the body. So depending on your situation, you have to choose the goals that are achievable, realistic, and small, that work for you. The other thing that's super important, no comparisonitis, that's what I call it. We can't compare ourselves to others, and it's something that all of us, I think, tend to do from time to time, whether we have chronic illness or not. It's just something we as humans tend to do. We compare ourselves, and especially with social media, it's become extremely easy to begin comparing ourselves to other people. But the reality is this, that even if somebody has the same exact diagnosis as you, that they're not the same, and you're not the same person. You don't come to this life with all of the same exact background or situation or other things going on around you. You may have different comorbid diagnoses that go with this. We typically find that with chronic illness we do. There's not just one, right? So you can't look at other people and say, well, she has EDS or juvenile arthritis or fibro, and she's doing all these things, or he's got this and he's still doing that. You can't do that, because that's going to set you up for failure from the very, very beginning. So that is another thing to work on. You have to work on not comparing yourself to others and not looking at what they're doing. Look at what you are doing. Look at what you can do. Look at what you want to do. And then start setting those very small, achievable, realistic goals. And then once you accomplish those goals, you're going to find that it feels really good. And again, small is key to begin with, because in shifting, it's going to take some time. So once you set a small goal and you achieve that, and then you do another one and you achieve that, and then begin to also give yourself credit for the things that you're doing, because a lot of us don't. And that's a very important piece of it, to be able to look back and say, yes, I did this and I feel really happy and good about that. As you build on those smaller goals, over time, you can look back and see, wow, look what I've done. And those small goals will create bigger and bigger and bigger changes. And at some point, you'll start to see that shift is happening. That's a very, contained, I guess, answer to this. It's not easy. It's not simple. It does take time. And depending on your circumstances, that will determine a lot, the time it will take to make that shift. But it can be done, and you can be successful, despite the fact that you have chronic illness. Our tagline is, because chronic doesn't mean can't. And I believe that with all my heart. I believe that, and that's why I created Chronic Connection, because I believe just because you have a chronic illness, it doesn't mean you can't be successful in life. You can. It just may take a little bit of shifting and a little work to get there in a different way than maybe you once thought. We do work on these things in coaching, whether individual coaching, group coaching. There are a lot of ways to join us for events, online parties, online events that we do. There are card swaps. You follow on Instagram. Any way that you want to do it, we welcome you to join us. You'll find lots of support within our Chronic Connection community. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Please continue to send in your questions. I hope that helped just a little bit. I want to send you great big hugs, lots of spoons, and wish you well for the rest of your week. Take care.